Hey y'all, welcome back, Hilltop Urban Homestead. Today is gonna be a little different. I'm gonna process some film. So I've already got ahead of myself a little bit and put the film in the daylight box. And this box allows you to put this lid on. Now there's no light getting in there. And now I can process this film without going into a dark room. That's its purpose. So I got the film loaded. Now I just need to pull it onto the reel, which is, there's a little crank here. That's what I'm doing. Get it all pulled onto the reel. You have to go out on faith a lot here that everything's getting reeled just right because you can't see it. All right, that was the end of the film that's stuck in the back of the film cartridge. So now there's a little knife here. That was me cutting the film and the cartridge falling back. Give it a couple more twists. Now she's completely onto the reel inside the box. So I'm gonna process this right here in my kitchen in the sink. So let me grab my chemistry. We'll get right on that. All right, so what I have here is distilled water and concentrated developed chemical. In this development, I'm using film photo projects equivalent to HC110 because HC110 is a Kodak product and Kodak is having a problem right now with their source and their chemistry. So I need 15 milliliters of developer. That's it for next time. Actually, I'm giving you bad habits because I should have put my water in here first. So I have milliliter measurements, graduated measurements on the side there. And it takes approximately 465 milliliters of water. So this developer, I pour this into the daylight lab, the daylight box, and it should go for about 4.5 minutes. So I'm pouring it in. Everything that I mixed up, the 15 milliliters of developer and the 465 milliliters of water. And for the first 30 seconds or so, You agitate the little box, spin the wheel a couple times. You just really want this chemistry to hit as much as the film as possible. Give it a good start. Tap it a couple times in case there's any air bubbles anywhere. That should do the first 30 seconds or so. So the developer, we can only use one time, and then we have to throw it away. That's just the way developer works. But as you saw, it's only 15 milliliters, so it doesn't take a whole lot, of developer. So it's been about a minute. Let's go ahead and give it another little swish. Spin the dial a little bit. Get it processing. Who took the time to figure this out back in like the 1800s or something? God bless them. Because I can't even fathom doing that now. Like, how many tries they must have taken getting it wrong and getting it close and all that. We give it a little swoosh and let it set for another minute. Just clean it up a little bit as I go. So, and funny enough, the chemistry can't go backwards. For instance, the developer won't hurt the stop or the fix, but even a drop of the stop or the fix in the developer will kill it, and it won't work. It's totally ineffective, and it'll just ruin your film. That is amazing to me. But that's chemistry, I guess. All right. I'll go ahead and give it another swoosh, swirl, another 15, 20 seconds. And we'll let the last minute go by. Time goes quick, by the way. You always gotta keep thinking of what you're gonna do. And so at the end of our stop and our fix, when that's over, then we're gonna wash it for seems like forever, but it's gonna be the rest of this 1 gallon bottle of distilled water, followed by another 1 gallon of water. So roughly about 2 gallons of water is gonna take to rinse the film. Once it's rinsed, squeegee it dry, let it hang with a weight so it dries nice and flat overnight, basically, in as dustless environment as you can possibly have. I have a little darkroom set up in my garage, so no one goes out there basically while it's doing its thing, and off we go. Also to note, the temperature of the water and all the chemistry needs to be roughly 68 to 70 degrees. 68 is optimal. So any difference in that, and you have to adjust your time. So just so you know, you can Google and figure that out yourself, based on what your temperatures are, or you can really work hard and get your temperatures exactly 68, your call. So as you can see, completely dumping the developer out. It's gone. Can't use it once, it's gone now. All right, so now we're gonna put a stop in. Like I said, I pre-mixed the stop. It's orange. When it right now it's still pretty orange. Get this out of the way so you can maybe see it a little bit. When it's done everything it can do, it turns kind of purple. So I don't know if I've sabotaged by putting it in a purple container, but it looks pretty orange in there right now. All right, so 10, 20 seconds, constant agitation. You can kind of do this in your head. I mean, you can use a timer. I have a timer set right here, by the way. And I'm adjusting for each process. I just give it a good spin to stop. Give it a couple swishes. Make sure you get 10 to 20 seconds. And stop. Some people don't use stop at all. Some people just use water. Your call. Back into the container. And this gives me another opportunity to look at it and see if it's still orange as well. As I'm pouring it back into the container. Additionally, I have a little notepad that I keep up with the dates, and I note the date that I made the stop, as well as how many usage it's getting. So I can keep it kind of a record, give me an idea going forward, you know, how many, the potential I think I can get out of it. So now it's fix time. Also, got a pre-made container fix. Just pour that right into the day box. Start my next timer. Then we're gonna pour it back in. Now the fixer is a shorter time, but it actually says constant agitation. So at least spin it. Shake it every now and then if you want to, but at minimum spin it at varying speeds, maybe a little slow, then a little quick, just keep it moving. And then also, as an FYI, and I know this because I learned as I went. So before you do any of this, it's important to do what's called a snip test or a clip test. And what you do is you take the end of the leader that comes out of the roll, you know, because usually you put a little bit across the camera before you strap it down, so that part has no images on it. It's been exposed to light without, you know, with the back open on the camera, so that part's no good to you anyway. So typically you cut off that little odd shaped piece at the beginning of the leader, and you take a little container like this, and you put a little bit of developer that you're going to use in there, and you throw that little piece of film in there. Give it 4 or 5 minutes. It should turn completely black, at least the part that's exposed to the water, or the developer, I should say. All right, when that happens, cool. Your developer's hot, it's working. Dispose of that, get rid of that piece of leader. Some people keep that. I just like to get a whole new piece of leader, either from that same cartridge or a different cartridge of film. And then clean your little container out really, really good. Put some fix in it, because fix is your other important chemical. Put a little bit of fix in there, just a teeny weeny bit in the bottom. Throw your other piece of, I'll do another video on that as well. Throw your little piece of film in there, and in 2 to 3 minutes, it should go completely clear, the part that's exposed to the fix. If that happens, again, fix is working, it's active, you're good. You can carry on with processing your film. Now, if it doesn't clear, you need fresh fix. Your fix is dead. Also, if in the developer it doesn't turn black, your developer is not working for whatever reason. You need a new developer. You know, this stuff is sensitive to, the developer is sensitive to oxygen, air, and temperature. So that's why, you know, they suggest you store it in a cool, dry place. And for the developer, everyone says like maybe use one of those amber bottles, or I got these nice collapsible bottles. And once you get the, once you have your solution in there, collapse the bottle till it's just at the top, minimizing the amount of oxygen and air that it can have access to while you're not using it. And you'll notice every time you go back to it, It's just a touch darker than it was before. That's the oxidation in that little spot. So, all right, we've pretty much given it a good fix. Now I'm gonna, so I can reuse this fix, put it back in my bottle. And now it's time to just wash. All right. Now the stop and the fix are not as susceptible to oxidation, but why not play it safe? And I just like to keep them in a container that minimizes the amount of air that can get in there. So, like I said, now, no more timer needed. We've done developer, stop, and fix. Now we're gonna wash.
Oh, no, hello.
Hello, hoodlums.
It's, would you call
Why
us?
don't you go ahead and hit my stop button there since. All right, so basically, you just pour the water in, swish it around, maybe stir it once or twice, and then pour it out. Rinse and repeat until you use up 2 of these. Once you're done, then you're ready to squeegee it, hang it, and set it up to dry. I'll try to show you that. That's it. Additionally, when I get down to the end of this first jug, I use a little bit of this Photo Flow, which is basically dishwashing detergent, but or like, you know, dishwashing soap, I guess. And that helps release some of the water, and if there's any weird chemicals, grease, oils stuck to your film, that helps release it. So I put in my last cup or 2 from here, and then from the tap water. Like I said, there's a 2nd gallon of tap water. The last couple cups of that, I put a couple drops. Just all you need is a couple drops. And I use it in the cup before the last cup. So I have one, my very last cup is completely clean. the wash stage.
Yeah.
Once it's at wash, it's developed, it's done. I just leave it on just because why not? I don't want water flopping all over the place.
Yeah. So this is what you would like, kind of like see in like movies when they have like a whole dark room.
Similar.
Kinda.
Similar.
But just
This
like
is this is a new box.
Yeah.
What you typically see in movies is what's called a tank, and it's round.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you in a second. It has two. Well, some of them only have one, but most of them have 2, 3, 4, or 6 reels inside. So I can only do one roll at a time box. But the tanks, depending on how tall it is, can do up to 6. I think they make them up to 8 or 12, like for commercial labs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it has to be the exact same kind of film in there, or it needs to have the same processing time, because you can't vary the time. It has to, you know. So that's cool. Like I said, if you got a lab, and you're doing it for money, or whatever. But so this was what we started with. Empty is now empty. Put that in the trash. Now we get to fish our film out. See what we got. Feel it for the end. Oh, got some stick together. That's bad, but it's life, man. Can't win them all. See two that were not shot very well. User error. That still look really nice. As far as like I can tell like how much density there is in each one. Really, really nice. And that's it. That's the magic. And now I'll take this. Come on, you're invested already.
So how long have you been doing that?
So let me go check. I've been shooting ever since probably San Diego, but if they didn't, South cars go to LA. But for the most part,